Hello students, I want to go through this handout on Piaget real quick with you, especially if you are a student who is doing this on the first day and haven't had the benefit of going through the notes yet. It might help to go through this a little bit. Nothing that you have to turn in, I just want to kind of discuss this a little bit with you, especially for those e-school students who are learning at home. And we haven't had the chance to talk this out, so it might kind of help to listen to this, and I'll be real quick with it. All right, so playing the Piaget way. Review Piaget's stages and identify the earliest stage in which a child might exhibit each of the following. When possible, name the concept that is described by each. There's not always going to be a concept applied to these, and I'll kind of go through that. Aiden is 9 and can explain in math class that 3 times 2 represents 3 sets of 2. This is the concrete operational stage. Remember, we're going through these 4 different stages of Piaget, and the concrete operational stage is really this logic. So the concept here is logic. This is when they can logically describe what's happening. And when he says it represents 3 sets of 2, he understands that logic. 9 years old, that's a pretty good age. So sometimes it helps to kind of look at the age. Remember, those are just guidelines, but we're getting to about that time. Kelvin doesn't sneak a cookie when his mom is outside because he thinks that she can see what he sees. This is the pre-operational stage, that second stage of Piaget, and it's really egocentrism, where everything is focused on them. When we're in class, and I've told you about, standing in front of the TV or on the telephone, whatever it happens to be. The pre-operational stage is he can only really see it from his perspective. Rakisha, I'm just realizing that I did this handout on my students' names. I had a student named Rakisha. Rakisha is asked to add 3 plus 2. Using her fingers, she counts and answers 5. Asked to add 2 plus 3, she uses her fingers again to get the same answer. We're still in pre-operational. This is probably, she's lacking conservation. Not exactly a concept, hard concept here. If you had to say one, probably conservation. Tyrell is my cousin. Tyrell is given a cardboard box and pretends that it is a rocket ship. This is pre-operational. This is for sure pretend play. We see pretend play happening pretty quickly as one of the highlights, if you will, of pre-operational. Obviously, language is probably the most important part of pre-operational. 5. At Christmas, Molly is given a toy in a cardboard box, but she ignores the toy and explores the box by opening and closing the flaps. Note to self, when you're a parent and you've got a 1-year-old or anything less than that at Christmas, don't give them a gift. Buy them diapers and let them play in the box because they don't care anyway. But when we talk about sensory motor, this is for sure the sensory motor stage. We're almost always looking at the action and the sense. So in this case, it's exploring the box, the action and the sense of it, what they're feeling, what they're, sensing around them, how big it is, how small it is, things like that. 6, Zach proposes that maybe the color that you call red is the color that, if he looked with your brain, he would call yellow. This is high metacognition, thinking about thinking. This is the formal operational stage, and this is definitely abstract thinking. Ben pushes a button on a toy and it makes a sound. He repeats this over and over and over and over. This is sensory motor. Again, that action and the sensation, that sense of hearing or touching or whatever it happens to be. Lucas tells his friend, "I've got the best joke. What can leap higher than a tall building?" Nothing. Tall buildings can't leap. The child's understanding of the 2 interpretations of the question indicate that he has reached this stage. I'd say concrete. You could probably make the argument for formal as well. Concrete is that he's reached the logic stage because tall buildings can't leap, but maybe even the formal stage where it's more kind of abstract thinking. It's the day of the science fair, and Samuel uses his understanding of molecular movement to predict how a gas would behave in different conditions. His project wins first place. This is formal operational, and we know it's formal operational because it's a good prediction, especially in these kind of scientific terms, if-then type thing. A mother takes a toy from a child and puts it under a blanket. The child does not look for it. Love it, so much fun. This is a sensory motor stage. Lack of object permanence. Peekaboo is fun until they understand it didn't go away, it just hid. And so this is called they have a lack of object permanence. Presented with a picture of 4 cats and 6 dogs, Jack is asked which of there are more of, cats or animals. He correctly responds animals. This is concrete operational, and it means he has now mastered the law of conservation. We're probably going to get close to formal operational, but he's still in concrete. Upon overhearing her mother mention that it is difficult for a woman to make it to the top of a large corporation, Juliet asks why she just can't take the elevator. This is still pre-operational, mostly probably egocentrism, where they don't understand another person's point of view. Upon seeing his Aunt Sally, who lives out of town, the child cries. This is sensory motor, the stranger anxiety, where if you looked at that picture of the young little infant or the young baby with Santa, very much they do not understand what is happening. And 14, when given 1 cookie for a snack, the child begs for more. Her mother breaks the cookie in 2, and the child is happy. Pre-operational, they lack conservation. All right, so that is a quick explanation. I hope those made sense. If you have any questions, of course, please ask. Until we see it again, bye-bye.